28th anniversary of Vimy Ridge is featured by colorful ceremonies. In Epsom, Surrey, a memorial service is held by the Canadian Ex-Servicemen's Association of Great Britain. Veterans of this war join the boys of the Old Brigade in remembrance of the gallant Canadian attack in 1917. Major General Weeks represents the general staff at the ceremony held in the shadow of the Epsom Cenotaph. Thousands join in the inspiring service conducted by the Vicar of Epsom and Major W. Bailey. They honor the memory of the Canadian Corps, which crashed through a vital pivot of German defense at Vimy Ridge, suffering 13,000 casualties in 1 month. Today's Guard of Honor is provided by the Veterans Guard of Canada. On Canadian soil in Vimy, France, the great memorial looks down on a parade of commemoration. Mounting guard are troops who liberated the area in 1944 as veterans of both wars join in the march past. The main guard is composed of men from every unit in the Canadian Army. On the tomb of the unknown soldier, wreaths are laid. One common ideal is shared by all present. This time, the war and the peace will be won by Allied veterans. In the United Kingdom, General Holler, Commander-in-Chief Polish Forces, presents high awards to 2 Canadians. Both officers were attached to Polish units as FOOs. The Virtuti Militari, equivalent to our Victoria Cross, is presented to Captain Pierre Sévigny of Quebec City for outstanding valor. To Lieutenant Guy-Louis Caron of Montreal goes the Cross of Valor. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Triquet, VC, congratulates his neighbors on a job well done. It's field day for the Canadian Scottish Regiment. The veteran unit holds its first sports meet on German soil. The card is handled on an inter-company competition basis, and for the foot sloggers, at least one event is in the bag. The whole regiment turns out to heckle or cheer depending on the performance. Hopping Holland canals has been good training for winning the sack race. All and sundry agree that real teamwork, which characterizes the Canadian Scottish, is put to the supreme test in the 3-legged event. When it comes to hitting the high spots, the boys are right in their stride. No records are broken, but good form is displayed and plenty of muscle, especially in the tug-of-war. For those who like hamburgers, and who doesn't, Tuffy's Tavern is set up right on the sports grounds. The perfect ending to a pleasant meat is supplied with onions. In Kenora, the Northwestern Ontario Outfitters Association holds its convention and snow carnival. Lumberjack clothes and real beavers take the town back to its rat portage days in the gay 90s. Fur bennies lend atmosphere as Mayor Holland and the convention president fraternize. Old acquaintanceships are renewed in a spirit of fiesta. A feature event is the log chopping competition. You've got to be a good woodsman to hold a place in this fast company. Phew, hot work. And all for a little mug. The almost forgotten joys of putting your feet on the brass rail as you toss down the firewater is reenacted. The firewater is only cider, according to Ontario law. But the can-can girls help to take the bad taste out of your mouth. New skating routines contrast with old scenes on Lake of the Woods. Embryo Sonia Haney's delight the crowd with their grace on the flashing blades. Of course, every carnival must have a queen, to say nothing of the ladies in waiting. Miss Pat Odom is the de-lovely selected, and the judge's choice is sure good. So thinks the Honorable George Dunbar, who does the crowning. Just think, someday you too might become a senator and be able to crown a carnival queen. Mount Tremblant, noted skiing center in the Laurentian Mountains, is the scene of a downhill ski race in open competitions. Servicemen and women are among the many noted contestants. The winner of the men's senior division gets off to a flying start. He is Marian Zacek, a pilot in the Polish Air Force. Iron nerves are essential in the high-speed competition. It's a long way to the bottom, and you have to be a skillful performer to reach it in one piece. The winner in the ladies' division is Rhoda Wirtle of the famous Canadian skiing twins. The crowd enjoys thrills galore, and even amusing spills liven up the Mount Tremblant ski race. General Pierre sets the pace for his 1st Canadian Army as the 8th Victory Loan gets underway. Taking time out from the drive through northern Holland, the general opens the campaign on the Western Front by signing on the dotted line. Following their commander's example, the 1st Canadian Army queues for bonds. With the end of the war in sight and Sévigny Street not far off, Canadian soldiers are feathering their nest by investing in the best. As the offensive to liberate northern Holland gets underway, armor of the 4th Canadian Division breaks out of the Cleves area in an all-out drive for the North Sea. Blasted roads are hastily repaired with brush to allow the war of movement to continue in high gear. The tanks advance so fast, the infantry are a day behind, and people in liberated towns are left to celebrate alone. A concentration camp at Bathorn, Germany is overrun. The guard left in a hurry the night before our forward tanks roll through. The liberated prisoners are officers of Yugoslavia, France, and Poland. Their commanding general receives instructions as the internees parade to celebrate their freedom. The first town across the German border to be captured is the communication center of Neuenhaus. Fleeing Jerrys leave the railway station absolutely intact. All rolling stock is in perfect condition and ready to move. The lads take a joyride on a Speedy fueled with German petrol. Meanwhile, south of Arnhem, 5.5s go into action. The second prong of the Canadian attack meets much stiffer resistance. The town of Zutphen is defended to the last by Hitler Youth paratroopers. The infantry have a job cut out for them in mopping up. It is attended to in a thorough fashion. Fanatical snipers left behind by the retreating enemy cause a lot of trouble. Native Hollanders, seeing our troops, thought the war was over. Senseless sniping teaches them differently. The last bite of a dying mad dog is dangerous, but his final hope is going up in smoke.